Go Mustang, the Coach Alexander Show, brought to you by Kim Assad, your real estate broker.
Hello Mustang Nation, Matt Carnes, Grapevine Booster here for Week 7 of the Coach Mike Alexander Show with the head coach of your Grapevine Mustangs, Mike Alexander. Coach, the meat of your district schedule came around Friday night, and a lot of question marks were coming into that ball game with the two of the heavyweights in the league. Richland obviously being a little bit more of a heavyweight. But the game, to say that it went your way is an understatement. Tell us Friday night what you were thinking as the game was going on and what you're thinking now.
Well, I tell you what I was thinking during pregame. My goodness, look at these guys. I mean, going in, they have six or so Division I kids on the team, and that's paper, that's stuff on paper. But when you get there and you actually see their kids in person, man, it just kind of takes you back a little bit. They were physical specimens, and they're a really talented football team. I'm so happy with our kids and our players. Just the way they made a decision early in the week to just lock in, execute the game plan, and the biggest thing, more than just executing a plan, but just the way that they decided they were going to fight for each other. We talked about in pregame, pregame meeting before we left to go to the field. I just challenged them, just to pour yourself out for your teammates, for your friends. In the book of John, Jesus says, there's no greater love than this, than a man to lay down his life for his friends. And I told him, I said, man, that's what we got to do tonight. I mean, you've got to, you're going to be hurt, you're going to be tired, you're going to feel pain, and they bought into it, and that was kind of our battle cry on the sideline. We just kept talking about pour yourself out, pour yourself out. And every time they'd come to the sideline, man, they were just encouraging each other. And just the level of intensity and the level of toughness that they played with just makes me so proud.
Well, watching the game, I mean, it was clear who was winning the battle on the scales. But on the field, the attitude and effort and the teamwork your guys showed was just incredible.
Yeah, there's not many matchups that you look at on paper, or even just off the hoof when you look at maybe their right tackle versus our left defensive end, or vice, just where you say that the kid in the red jersey's got the advantage there. But you can't measure the size of a man's heart. You just never know, and our kids and they played their tails off, and I believe they did it for each other. They didn't do it for selfish gain. They did it because they love this team, and that's the thing that they care most about.
Well, and last year's motto for this team was toughest team wins. Mm-hmm. But Friday night, you saw guys on the training table mm-hmm. being dealt with, trying to jog something off, and next thing you know, they're back on the field.
Oh yeah, I mean we had. Cole Stevenson, our nose guard, he battled strep throat all week. He didn't even practice. Monday, Tuesday of last week, and he showed up Thursday. Could barely breathe because his throat was swollen so shut. And he shows back up, gets a steroid shot. Shows up Friday, plays his tail off, gets a sprained ankle, and early in the game just keeps battling. And then, you have guys behind him that, picked up the slack when he couldn't play every snap like he pretty much has the rest of the year. Reese Delgado, a sophomore, that we brought up off the JV a couple weeks ago, stepped in, and we really didn't miss a beat, and that's the beautiful thing about our program right now is just the level of expectation. When it's next man up, doesn't really matter who walks onto the field, they know that they have to hold themselves to a high standard, and they're going to execute and play as hard as they possibly can. And as a coach, that gives you comfort because, if you lose one person, it's not the end of the world because that the next guy you put in, there's a reason he's not a starter, but for the rest of that game, he's prepared to play like one. We're blessed to get to coach here with these kids, and couldn't be prouder as a coach.
Well, it's also going to make you feel good because as a head coach, that's your job, mm-hmm. is to help all those kids to be prepared, to be the next mm-hmm. man up, and preparation, execution, and all that. And you're seeing it play out on the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, I can't give our kids enough credit, and our coaches, they put together a fantastic plan. It was no small task to score 37 points against those guys. I mean, like I said, they have very talented defensive players across the board. They're two inside linebackers. They're the best two inside linebackers we'll see all year. And for our receivers to be as tough as they are, to run across the middle, take shots, catch the football, get up, go back, do it again, and our quarterback to stand in the pocket and deliver the balls that he did, and it's a total team effort from the players to the coaching staff, the parents, working with us, on their, taking their kid to the doctors. We had a lot of sickness go on last week. Seth Tejada too. He was battling asthma attacks all week long. Didn't think he was going to play until about 7:30 at kickoff time, and
came down decision.
And he and came down to it, and he wasn't going to be denied. And he was limited in what he could do, but Roshan went out with a foot injury for a period of time, and Seth stepped in there, and like I said, these guys love each other, and they're going to fight for each other.
Well, you mentioned the quarterback and how he stayed in the pocket. He also ran around a lot,
Yeah.
But when he ran around, he found the plays he had to make, and while doing so, he actually threw his 100th career high school pass, and then some more. Talk about what Allen as a 4-year starter means to this program.
It's hard to imagine, and we still have 3 games left in the regular season in his senior year, but if for a quarterback to throw 20 touchdown passes in a year is phenomenal, and for Allen to over the course of the last I don't know how many games it's been. His freshman year, I don't think he started all 10, but for him to already have 100, it's amazing. I was asked today from a reporter, what do I think that he's going to see this week that he's not prepared for? And my answer is, I'm sure that Heritage has a great plan, and is going to show him some wrinkles, but Allen's seen a lot, and there's not much that you can show him that he's that's going to get him completely flustered. You might fool him once, but he can make adjustments and get the ball where it needs to be the next series. So it's just a huge advantage for us to have him. It's a security blanket for a coach. Just knowing that you're putting a guy out there on the field that's not going to get rattled, and it's fun to watch him right now.
Well, it is, and frankly, the other night when they were coming at him, as he said, they all knew they were going to be blitzing. Mm-hmm. It seems like the game has really slowed down for him because at no point did he ever really look.
No.
He was running.
Yeah.
He was scrambling, but he didn't look panicked.
No, he's it's a different deal for a quarterback to know that, okay, they're bringing 6 guys up on the line of scrimmage. We only have 5 to block them, and for him to be poised enough to catch the snap, take a drop, deliver the ball, and not that he was 100% or anything completion percentage, but he gave us a chance on most plays, even when they brought more than we could block. So it's just like you said, it's fun to watch for me too right now.
Well, he had over 332 yards while y'all were shutting down a pretty prolific passer on the other side. I mean, he was way below percentage rate and way below his normal yards. But and we talked to we're going to talk to him during the show. But early in the game, y'all went for it on a 4th down. It was 4th and long.
Yeah.
And of course, it was a play call I would have called.
Yeah.
4th down over the middle, throw it to David Clayton for the touchdown. Tell us what was going on the sideline as you were processing that.
We were at that position in the field where it's one of those things where you punt it. I think we had the ball on about the 35-yard line, somewhere in there. You punt it, you risk kicking it into the end zone and bring it out to the 20, and now you've netted 15 yards. That early in the game, that wasn't something that 15 yards wasn't that big a deal. Coach Bishop, we talked about it. He said, I think we can win this matchup. And, sure enough, they ended up double covering David, which we weren't we really weren't planning on. We thought we'd get single coverage, but they ended up doubling him. Didn't matter. David still, got a little separation. Allen just threw a perfect ball, perfect ball with pressure in his face, and David came up big. And I think Allen alluded to this when you interviewed him. I think that's the third or fourth time this year that we've, gone for it on 4th and 10 plus and converted. So, a little bit of luck maybe, a little bit of skill, we'll take it.
False sense of security looking forward, though? Or are you going to are you looking at it like the gambler in Vegas thinking, hey, we get it every single time, let's do it again?
I honestly didn't really think about when we went for it last night or last week. I wasn't really thinking, well, we've gotten it before. I'm really just thinking field position, 15 yards wasn't that big a deal at the time. So, anyway, but when you have somebody like Allen and receivers like David, some of those 50-50 balls might not be really 50-50 balls. They might be more 60-40,
Absolutely.
And so, we approach it like that. So that's how we went with it.
Well, Roschon goes for over 100 again, so the running game was solid. Mm-hmm. And in addition to David Clayton, you got Jordan Brooks-West, who not only had a big offensive night, he had 8 catches, 150 yards, but he came in and was a big boost on the defensive side as well.
Huge boost, yes. Jordan, man, I'm so proud of him. Because, you always wonder if when a kid moves into your program, how long is it going to take them to assimilate into the culture of the locker room? And, in our locker room, it's different. Our kids, we don't have a locker room full of kids that are going to go play Division I football. What we have are a bunch of kids that love football and love each other. And Jordan is completely bought into our culture of our locker room. And when we asked him to go play defense, he's excited about it. And play that he made the first drive of the game, down there on the goal line where he broke up a pass against a kid that's committed to SMU or has an offer from SMU. Receiver Rashid Rice, he's a good player, and Jordan able to break that pass up, nothing short of remarkable. He tackled well all night. Jordan played over 100 snaps. I think it was 105 snaps total, defense and offense. So, he had a big busy night. I'm sure he slept in good Saturday morning. He's one kid that we're sure proud of right now.
Well, he was everywhere on Friday night, and that was good. Before we move on to the game coming up, let's talk about the freshmen and the JV programs. Both of those are having solid seasons, and your both of your freshman teams swept the last 4 games the last couple of weeks with Richland. Talk about the upcoming program before we move on to this upcoming week.
Yeah, so we're so excited about our sub-varsities. Our JV team right now is 6-1. They're having a good year. There's a strong group of sophomores that we've tried to keep together the best we could. We've moved up, I think, 4 sophomores up to the varsity throughout the course of the season. Started them all out together and have gradually moved a few of them up as we needed to fill in positions. But they're a tight-knit group. They love playing for each other and with each other. They have fun. If you come to a JV game, it's some of the more entertaining football you'll see. They have fun doing it. You have Mark Assad and Brian Turner in the press box, DJing it in between. It's just a fun. They just have a great time. That whole group of kids, and so we're really proud of them. And then our freshmen. Like a lot of times with us having our split feeders, we started off a little bit slow. The freshman red team lost their first 2, but they've gotten on track and the offense is clicking and so now they're 4-2. They've won their last 4, and the freshman blue team, they've been pretty solid throughout the year. They're 6-1 right now. Excuse me. So they're having a good time. Those kids. They're a fun group to be around. They practice hard. The future's bright in Mustang football.
Well, there's no question. I've been seeing that firsthand with the son on the freshman team, and the development from them from early on has been remarkable. The last 2 games, they just look like a finely coached, well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on. You got a big one this week. You know what it's all about. You've been here before. It's the Battle of the Red Rail, the Battle of Whataburger. It's going to be the district championship. Not sure what else we can do to properly put this one in perspective this week. Y'all moved up a lot of slots, so it's going to be number 6 Colleyville Heritage against number 11 Grapevine Mustangs. It's rivalry week. What's going through your head?
Gonna sound cliche, but I mean we truly take them one week at a time, and we're worried about being 1-0 right now. You know, the rivalry and everything. It's, you know, I told the kids this morning. You know, it's much like homecoming. Homecoming's for everybody else. You know, that's for the community. That's for the people, the alumni's coming back. Our job in homecoming is to show up and give them something to be proud of. You know. Much like this game, our job is to show up and win the football game. Period. You know, all the social media banter and the, you know, the talking about the game is irrelevant to us. You know, because no matter what's said between now and 7:30 on Friday is completely irrelevant in our scope of influence. We can influence the game at 7:30 in our preparation, and that's it. And so. I mean, we had a very business-like practice today. I would say there wasn't extra hype involved. You know, I didn't feel like there was any extra energy than there was last week before the Richland game. It was just more or less business-like, laser focused. Our kids are, you know, they just want to know. They're sponges. They just give me information, coach. How can I be successful? And that's how we're approaching this thing. You know. Honestly, the game wins and losses mean absolutely nothing in terms of playoffs. You know, it would be special to win a district championship. You know, it always is. Championships are important. So for us to be able to, if we can win this game and put us one step closer to putting another gold football in the GHS trophy case, we want to do our part in doing that. But in the grand scope of things, man, our job is to show up and just compete our butts off and give our community something to be proud about.
Show up and play like you did Friday night. You'll certainly have a good chance to win. Yeah. Talking about some of the things that we'll be seeing on the field, one of the interesting matchups is they have 2 well-known receivers, Kevon Ahmad and Cam Brown. Of course, Cam's already committed to UCLA. If you look at their stats, they're a little over 1,300 yards with 18 touchdowns. You counter it with Jordan Brooks West and David Clayton, who have almost the same amount of yards and also 18 touchdowns. So that two-headed receiving monster that each comes with, talk about what that's going to be like watching that go down Friday night. You know,
it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be entertaining for the fans, I believe. They put stress on your defense. There's no doubt about it, and you know, us preparing to you know, stop them, shut them down. I don't know if that's possible. You know, we want to defend. We want to make them earn what they get. You know, it's a similar formula to last week. You know, you got to stop the runs. If you don't stop the run, nothing else is going to matter. And then when you can stop the run, now it gives you a chance to play some extra coverage and give you a chance to get some pass breakups and possibly some interceptions to get off the field, and that, you know, that's been our recipe since I've been here. You know, we don't go into any game pretending to think we're going to completely shut any one thing down. We just want to play sound defense, make it hard on the offense to move the ball and gain first downs, and then just give the ball, just feed our offense much as we can, and you know, if we can keep our offense on the field and their offense off the field, it gives us a lot better chance to win.
Well, we'll talk about the tickets in a minute, but this is also the Channel 21 game of the week, so it'll be televised. Does that have any effect on the kids? Do they look at that at all?
I hadn't even told them.
So maybe not?
No, I mean, they know, I'm sure, but we don't make a deal about it, you know, because once again, that's one of those things that, I mean, we can't control any of that stuff, and you know, like I said, our job, regardless of who's videoing it or who's reporting about it, our job is to show up and play. And I mean, we play Colleyville Heritage in the parking lot. We don't care. You know, it's just another game, and that's where I think our kids' mindsets are right now.
Well, it sounds like you're focused and ready on that. Tell us about the ticket situation. This is going to be a pretty packed house. So,
well, the best I can figure, we're going to have to go to the swim center. You go to the swim center website. It's just if you'll just Google swim center or Grapevine Colleyville Swim Center / football tickets. It'll pull you to a website where you can purchase online. Right. Now, if you go to the Grapevine High School tab, there's not going to be any tickets because it's not a Grapevine High School home game. You're going to have to go to the CHHS tab to buy tickets there. Now, that doesn't mean you have to sit on CHHS's side. That just gives you a general admission ticket because all of ours are general admission on the visitor side, and that'll get you in the door. So go to Swim Center / football tickets, and you can purchase them online.
Well, and based on how the parking lot was last weekend, I would suggest we tell everybody to make sure you get there early.
And come to the tailgate.
Come to the tailgate. That's a great idea. And they do run a shuttle from Grapevine High School. So if you don't make it early, you go to Grapevine High School, park there, and take the shuttle over. But good luck Friday night. We'll be there watching, and look forward to the show that everybody's putting on. And we'll see you Friday night, 7:30, Mustang Panther Stadium. Grapevine Mustangs against the Colleyville Heritage Panthers. It's going to be a big one. We'll see you there. We are here with Grapevine linebacker Jaden McClure. Jaden, y'all had your first big test of the year with the district game this weekend against Richland. And to say that it went better than a lot of people would have expected is an understatement. Probably tell us what you thought.
Yeah, we came in the game hyped, like we were ready to play, and then we got on the field and did better than everybody expected us to do.
Well, it was a big win, and you were a big part of that. You had 9 tackles, you had a sack, a couple of pressures. Talk to us about the defense and how y'all were able to shut down Drew Trent and the rest of the Richland defense.
Yeah, so we actually played a good team defense. It was like our best game of the year, I think, personally.
Well, it was solid. Now let's look at a couple of plays for this from this game the past weekend. Here you are on the one of the drives that y'all stopped for Richland. Tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He has big weight. He's running full speed at me. We're going head to head, and I just lower my shoulder and win the battle.
Well, that put a stop to that drive. And then tell us about this one here where you're going to put a stop to this guy in open field.
Yeah, he was about to run off, and then he seen me, and then we had triple coverage on a guy, and I forced him to throw the ball.
Well, the first drive you were able to force them into going for it on 4th down, which y'all stopped. And here, obviously, the end of a drive as well. So good job on that. Now you've got the big week coming up. It's rivalry week here. You may or may not know about the Whataburger. You may or not know about the Red Rail. But tell us what you're looking for this week with the Heritage game here.
Competition. There's a lot of competition. A lot of fans wanted to see a show, and we're going to put it on.
Well, good. Well, we're looking forward to it. We'll see you Friday night against the Panthers from Heritage.
Thank you.
You bet. We are here with Grapevine quarterback Alan Bowman, also a Texas Tech commit. Congratulations on the move to the west part of the state.
Yeah.
So, and I will cheer for you every week except for when you play TCU.
Okay, that's good.
So, deal?
Deal.
All right, good. Well, we're looking forward to that. Well, you had a big milestone this week against Richland. You hit the 100 mark in touchdowns. Not many high school quarterbacks even get close to that, but not many get to play for 4 years.
Exactly.
So that's a pretty big deal. Talk about what that means to you as a quarterback here.
Yeah, I've kind of been blessed to be healthy all 4 years. I mean, knock on wood, I've never missed a start from 4 years. It's 40-something games, 50-something games. So just the preparation that everyone goes into and the coaching, and it's not all just me it takes a whole village and a whole team to get to 100. So it's kind of a special moment for me, and I'll never forget it.
Well, it's been fun to watch, and of course last year get to be a part of it with our son. Mm-hmm. But as the season rolls on, y'all had a big one Friday night. Mm-hmm. The Richland Rebels came to town. They were undefeated. There's a lot of question marks about who's for real and who's not. Mm-hmm. And y'all answered that question pretty decisively with a 37-18 win. Yeah. Tell us about the game Friday night.
It was physical, smash mouth football. They were really good defensively and they were really good offensively. I mean, there was 2 good teams going at it, and I think we were a little more talented. I think we wanted it a little more than they did, so we came out on top.
Well, there was more than one time that you were moving and shaking and jiving and dancing behind in the backfield back there. Tell us about what it took to get away from some of those rushes.
Yeah, so we knew they were going to blitz all night. That's kind of their thing. They were going to blitz and play man coverage, so I knew I was going to have to do a little something to keep the play alive, and kind of worked out. The O-line did great, and it ended up perfectly. So
well, it was a big win. Let's talk about some of the plays here in particular. This was where we got the scoring started here. This is a 4th down play. Coach decides to go for it. Tell us what's happening here.
Yeah, I think for this season we've had 3 plays for 4th down and 10 and longer, and we're 3 for 3. So we've got all 3 of them. And yeah, this is just kind of it's 4th down, throw the ball up no matter what. You can't take a sack and throw the ball in the air. And David came down with it. It was a good pass, and it was kind of crazy. It kind of got us going for sure.
Well, you wind up 20-6 at the half. Here's a touchdown pass to Jordan Brooks West, who's really come on this year and been another weapon for you out there in the field. Talk about him and also just the whole offensive plan in that particular touchdown, how you're getting open up there.
Yeah, so that one's a read play, so we kind of motion him in. He's going to read the safety. If he's outside leverage, he's going to break in. If he's inside leverage, he's going to break out. And we just kind of got on the same page. Kind of over the past couple of weeks, we've had a great connection. I think we've had like 13 touchdowns in 4 weeks or something like that. Just kind of crazy numbers. So kind of getting that chemistry with him has been awesome.
And you're a multi-talented player, so on 4th down, you get to be the punter as well.
Yeah.
So, and evidently sometimes it goes better than others.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we're still working on it. We work on it every day. But I think it gives us another tool in our toolbox to play against. It just makes us even harder to defend than we are. Having me back there and having the receivers back there is kind of every punt is a threat for fake. So the defenses and the special teams got to be ready for it. So it's kind of hard for them to defend it.
Well, it's good, and I guess some of the punts go better than others.
Yep.
So we won't talk about that with Coach A nearby.
Yes, we won't. Just punt over the middle. That's fine. Let it roll. Not out of bounds. Let it roll.
So now this is going to be this week is a big one for you. Rivalry week coming. It's the 4th time you'll get to play in this game. Mm-hmm. Battle of the Red Rail, Battle for Whataburger, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
This is it. So tell us about what it's going to mean as a senior coming in this game.
It's kind of going to be crazy. What we lost it for 7 years prior, or 6 years prior to last year, and they're going to be bloodthirsty for sure this year. They're going to be ready to go, so we're going to have to give it our all, and I'm going to for sure give it my all because it's my last year. I'm always going to remember the whole Colleyville game, and not remember the Poly games, but I'm going to remember this game out here this week, so I'm excited.
Well, that'll be you and a lot of them, and I'm sure that they probably remember last year.
Yeah, for sure.
I think a lot of people remember last year. So tell us what it's going to take to be ready for that, because that's going to hype things even more.
Yeah, they're going to be ready to go, and I think we got to show up even more disciplined. And I think we got to. It's going to be in the trenches. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be tough. So I think whoever wants it more, like last week, and whoever's a tougher team. So we're both great teams. We're both 4-0 in district. It's going to be fun.
Well, it's going to be. This is the district championship as well.
Yeah.
I think everybody sees that and knows that. So there's a lot more at stake than just the pride and local law and stuff. So. Go get them Friday night.
Yeah.
It's been fun watching you.
Appreciate it.
And we will watch you Friday night.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Go get them.
Go Mustangs.
Go Mustang. The Coach Alexander Show, brought to you by Kim Assad, your real estate broker.